Welcome back, guys. Today on this episode of Farm Simulator we are going to subsoil the field. Farmyard's a bit of a mess. I've done a couple of contracts and I'm currently doing a contract at the moment in the very top corner of the map. So yeah, while I've got the courseplay doing that, I thought we'd go and sort this field out. So I've just done this field as a contract to seed it. I've done this field here, 82. That was cultivating, and now if I go up here, this one's just being cultivated as well. So let's unfold and go from there. Right. So if I lower that, off we go. Now this is basically a test to see how much stone I get off this field. Wrong way. Need to rotate that 90. Okay, well, I get to the end of this one and come back the other way and it should sort itself out. But anyway, so yes, I am currently testing to see how much stone I can get off the field to put into my lime machine. I'm just going to run down this way just to help me out so I don't go into my canola, which is probably nearly ready to harvest. Let's put the grass on so we can see that. Shows that the edges of the field's better. So yeah, it's pretty much ready to rock and roll. So yeah, this is about where I'm at at the moment. I've put all the lettuce onto a trailer so that it can be taken to the shop at some point. I'm not in no rush for that. My main focus at the moment is my fields, getting enough money together to purchase a bit more land. I feel like I need more land. I'm going to try as well and purchase a bit more land because I had like 350 trees plus off this area where my farm is. Ideally I'd like to plant a few more trees from so that it's like, I don't know, like just basically replacing the trees that are taken out of the ground so that I can cut them down again basically. I've got a few little areas that I want to look at for that. I've got in mind doing animals as well at some point down the line. I'm still working on that at the moment. It's a bit of a toss up between having sheep, cows or chickens. So yeah, I'm in two minds of more land to plant trees and more land to get animals. But land on this game is not cheap, hence why I've got the course player going, doing a couple contracts for me while I concentrate on getting this field as ready as I can. So we are getting stones. Looks like some nice sized ones as well, to be fair. I just want to have a look. To see what weeds I'm getting on my land. It takes a while for this to sort itself out because it's a big map. So there's a few weeds on there. And I've also, as you know, in the last episode, fertilised it. Now that I'm cultivating it, it looks like it's adding a bit more colour to it, so okay, that's handy to know. I didn't know if that would do that. So if you spray your manure or fertiliser or whatever, then plough it, it looks like you have a better yield or fertilised state. I've worked out as well that I need to get an auger wagon or something. I have got that I just purchased a refillable pallet, which is actually from FS19. So yeah, I've got a 2000 litre or a 4500 litre that I can put seed into, amongst other things. So I got one of those. And what I was thinking, use a telehandler or something to fill my seeder up when I'm out in the field, because doing the big field that I'd done, which was 67, I had to fill it up 4 times, and I ended up taking down the little red conveyor down there into the field and filling up the class trailer that I have of seed, then having to reverse up to the conveyor and do it that way. It was very, very fiddly. It's not the best way of going about doing it, but it's done. I have more money, that's all that matters. I've still got my seed to sell as well. So yeah. I shall get this field subsoiled, ploughed, etc. Be good to go. I'm gonna have to get the other tractor, or probably, depending on when it finishes the contract, because it's way up in this corner. The idea was to subsoil to get the big stones, cultivate to get the small stones. It should generate more stones on the field, but I'm not too sure if it will. And then collect the stone and go from there. And I was going to write down, see what I got, and see if it averages out over like a few harvests. But all in good time. That cornola looks like it's ready, but it's probably not. still growing. Right, okay, here we go again. Next row. It doesn't take too long to do this. I'd also be intrigued to see how much stone I get off the bigger fields with the canola in it by doing this technique. I will get bees at some point, but I'm looking for like a beehive mod that does a huge area, not just like 150 meters, because ideally I'd need to put one in like every corner of this area. And I just want one that I can place down, and that should like cover this field and maybe one more of those fields. But that should help as well with the yield on certain things. It's not a big difference, but it's something like 2.5% or something, depending on the crop. So that's basically all I've done. My manure factory is full. I shall show you. I have solid fertilizer distributed into these. My manure factory is full, so I've still got 200,000, so I've got loads in there to go. So those other fields in front of us, we'll be getting that. Right, oh, nearly at the end of the field. So my nitrogen level now is getting there. It's slowly creeping up. My yield didn't do too bad. I got 90%. I got high seed rate. On my last seeding situation, but we shall see what happens. That's a good amount of stone just there. I'm hoping the cultivator will be done before I get to the end of this field, and then I can just bring it down. And it shouldn't take too long with a big cultivator like I got. I'm definitely gonna have to go over the field with herbicide to kill the weeds. How is it getting on, to be fair? Still going. I'll delete that course because I don't need it anymore. Yeah, I'm just basically looking at expanding at the moment. Working things out, expanding. Looking at products I can make. I was also looking at the clothing line, something that's long and slow. You ain't really got to do anything with it. Just let it go. Just get like the animals, like the sheep, etc. I'm also curious to see how many litres the lime machine will use, because it's not in the list. I don't know if it's supposed to be like that, or the modder just hasn't got around to doing anything with it yet. As in updates. How's this going? Yeah, see. It's going to be a while, I think. So I'll just keep going with this. The cornola, when that grows, I'm not sure what to do with it yet. I've still got 63,000 of the oats. I could turn it into canola oil. I didn't even know if I could sell my fertiliser thing, to be fair. The fertiliser plant. The reason why I'm saying that is because it's one of the buildings that's already placed on the map. Is it a case of if you sell it, it deletes the building? Or is it going to be a case of it just sells it? As if you can sell it. what I might end up doing if my cultivator isn't done before I'm done with this, is call that an episode as part 1 of the test, and then once the cultivator's done, in the next episode I could always do the cultivating and the stone collecting at the same time, because the stone collector runs pretty quick and it's quite wide. So I don't think I'd be able to catch the cultivator if it's going along. You never know. The Vermeer pack's out as well in a couple of days, so I can't wait to try that with the auto baler. So one of these fields, probably the middle one, will end up going as either wheat or barley. Then the barley or the wheat will go into the silo next to the oats, and then I can collect the straw, bale, and sell them as well. Most of the wheat or barley will probably be turned into seed, and I'll fill up the seed silo, which is about 120,000 litres, and whatever's left I'll just sell. So my farm's coming along nicely. It's a very slow process, obviously. I have thought about doing another series on like wildlands or the other one, No Man's Land. But I can't do 3 at a time because I've got this one and Renaboo going at the moment. Renaboo's slowed down at the time being because I have nothing really to do apart from contracts, because it's running seasons and everything plants in a weird way, and well, it's just how the map was set up to do more realistic seasons, I suppose, as in to suit the actual Norwegian country in real life. So I've got like 9 months on that where I can't really do anything apart from contracts, bits and bobs. Which I'll do. I'll stack my money up. I'll buy a whole load of land. I'm going to buy a wooded area as well to work up in the hills on that map. So I have been thinking as well, sticking fences around this field and around the other fields, because even though it's in the game, you don't see it on like other people's channels unless they're built into the map. And I quite like the idea of having like barbed fences, etc. Barbed wire fences. to separate fields. I mean, I know you've got the roads, etc. to separate fields, but I think it'd just be nice. It'd be different. Just checking on how we get. Oh, we're halfway on that one. It's not going to be done before I finish this. I will have to change over the big trailer because I've got the manure spreader on the back of it. So I'm going to have to go to a workshop, reconfigure that so that it's back to a normal trailer, so that when I come to do the harvest of the canola in the next couple episodes, I've got a big enough trailer to do it. The little one's fine, but if I've got the trailer there to use, I might as well. I'm hoping as well, by getting all the stone off of this field and the other two, fill in the little concrete bunker there. Just keep piling it in, because I'm not going to need to lime every harvest. Just now and again, so if I do fill up the silo, which is like 100,000 litres, I should be good for a while. And then all I've got to do is shovel the stone into it as and when I need it. 62% of the way through the field on the contract. I've only got a little area to do now, so once I'm down here I can just come back. This bit will only take 5 minutes, I reckon. I've also got to fill up the manure heap at some point as well. Get that packed in there. Just to relieve this factory because I've had to deactivate it. Just because I had nowhere to put it. Well, I haven't got around to taking it out of the factory and putting it into the bunker. I'm half tempted to do one of these fields as grass as well. Even if it's this little one at some point, just so that I can do silage. Get in there. Hopefully I don't run into that fence. It's tight. So if you're wondering why the weeds are a different colour there, in the last episode I decided to spray them. And then I thought to myself, no, I won't do that. I'll put the manure down first, do the subsoiling, cultivating, seeding, and then spray them. Or weed them. I do have the roller weeder for it as well. This one. I'll have a look at that weed state in a minute. It just takes a long time to load, and by the time you get to the end of this field, you're into the fence or the crop. See if I can get to the end of the field before it loads. No, there you go. We'd say is non-existent for now. It's the only issue with doing it this way, using the subsoiler and then the cultivator, is it creates a lot of weeds when you seed. Right, last pass. I can turn that GPS off now. Job done. Oh, I did get some stones out of that in the end. So that's all my lettuce at the moment. on there. I'll go put this in the shed. I can't reverse to save my life. Yeah. Right, all tractors off. How's this one going? Let's get in there. Right, I'm going to leave the episode there. And I'll speak to you in the next one. Thank you for subscribing if you have. And goodbye for now.